What's up, Dolphins? It's your boy Dillon. So on today's episode, I got an injury roundup for you with some good news. Finally, some good stuff, and nothing bad. So that's a break. That's different. So we can enjoy that. Also, too, there are press conferences that were done today by Ryan Tannehill and Adam Gase. So I'll get you those as well. But before I get to that, let me get to the injury news. So. First off, there was practice today. Kenyon Drake and Devontae Parker were both at practice with red jerseys on. Both, I believe, had shoulder issues. Kenyon Drake seems more likely to play if I was going to have to weigh that, but they both seem like they're probably, pretty likely to play. I don't think they're going to be out. There haven't been any real indications that they're going to be out or anything like that. So, but we'll keep an eye on it. It looked like Laramie Tunsil and Juwan James were both practicing, which is great. So hopefully they'll be ready to go. I would personally think that they'll be ready to go for the game on Sunday against the Colts. And by all reports, it looks like our man Tannehill is going to be back, and I believe that having Tannehill back is going to be the difference maker. And I think that despite the fact that we've had to make so many changes with all the injuries and we've lost so many guys and everything, I think that they'll be able to put it together, and I think we're going to go on a run these last 6 games, and I think we're going to win at least 5 of them, get to 10 wins. And I mean, because just real quick, if you look at our schedule, so real fast, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. We have the Colts coming up next, who I believe are 5-5 right now, just like us. If I'm not mistaken, they're a pretty decent team. I'll get into that more on Saturday in my preview game, but they're a decent team, but it's a team that we can beat. Obviously, we're going to be on the road for that one. So there is that, obviously, but not a big deal. They're not a super great team. We're obviously have been super banged up, but I think that having the bye week came at the perfect time. Considering everything that's happened, I think the team is going to be, certainly they're going to be as healthy as they've been in weeks. And I think that they're going to come out and I think they're going to play. I think the defense is going to hold it down. They're not going to, Andrew Luck and that offense are not going to put up. I think they had like 30-something points or like, maybe a little over 40 or so. I don't remember what their score was, but I know they had a lot of points in the game that they just played. That's not going to happen. The defense is going to keep them a lot more in check. I mean, it's the defense that's been keeping us in it, pretty much the whole season. And, I think that we could have won, the Texans game or the Green Bay game. We could have won those games if Tannehill was in there. I feel fully confident in that because maybe not all of them, but Tannehill certainly would have hit a lot more of the deep shots the intermediate and deep shots that Osweiler just completely overthrew. He would have. I think his pocket presence is better than Osweiler's. He's not as timid as Osweiler is, but he is more careful with the football. He's a lot better outside of the pocket. His legs are so much better. There were several instances in which he could have ran for a first down when Osweiler just fucking whatever. So I think that Tannehill is going to be the big difference, and I think that we are going to go on a run. We got the Colts. I think that's a winnable game. Then we got the Bills at home. So, I mean, that's a game we absolutely should win because the Bills are terrible, and, they're going to be playing in our stadium. That's a home game for us. And then we play the Patriots, but that's a home game for us. And, Tom Brady right now is 7-9 when he comes down to Miami. They traditionally do struggle when they come down there, and I think that we're going to take them out yet again. So, I think that overall we are going to end up going 5-1 in the division. I think we'll beat the Bills in the final game of the year once we play them in Buffalo. But after New England, then we have to go to Minnesota to play the Vikings, which they're kind of a middle of the road team, but it's a team we could win or we could beat. And then also in between that Minnesota game and the Buffalo game at the end of the year, we have Jacksonville, and that's at home. So that's a home game for us. So, I mean, if you look at that lineup, man, we got 6 games with the hardest team in there is New England. And, you know, we play them at home, and so we could definitely take that game. So, I mean, if you look at it, getting Tannehill back now is perfect. He's, you know, he'll tell you in his interview once you see it, but, you know, he's healthy, he's ready to go. He is going to start for us on Sunday by all, you know, reports. So, I think that it's certainly, I mean, there's certainly an opportunity, and this team can go out there. And if they can put it together, you know, and if they can win 5 of the last 6 games, obviously we would want to see them win all 6 of the games, you know, get to 11-5. But if we can get to 10-6, I mean, that could get us to the playoffs. It could be just like, you know, well, it wouldn't be just like, but it would be like 2016. Actually, if you think about it, what's ironic about that is it would kind of be like opposite of 16 in the sense that Tannehill started the season, right? And, you know, we went on that like 6-game win streak or whatever in the middle. He gets hurt and misses the last, you know, 5 or 6 games. Well, obviously he did start the season this year, but then he missed a bunch of time in the middle, and now he's going to start for the last, you know, so many games to take us towards the playoffs. And, you know, I mean, if we go 10-6, that's what we went in 16. That was enough to make it to the playoffs. And I think that if we had Tannehill, you know, for the playoffs, we definitely, could have stood a chance against the Steelers in the first round. So there's definitely a lot of optimism and a lot of hope, guys. And I think that I feel confident that we are, you know, despite everything that's gone on, despite the myriad of injuries and all that, we are going to come out on top on Sunday against the Colts. And aside from that, we are going to go on a run, and we are going to win at least 5 of these last 6 games, and we are going to make it to the playoffs. So, with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and send you off to these interviews. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoyed my show. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Super important. Got to get us up to 100, then 1,000, and let's keep growing. Let's build the nation. Let's build the Phins nation. You know, let's keep this going, guys. I really enjoy it. Make sure you hit the like button as well. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns, of course, down in the comments section. I love interacting with you guys. Let's get pumped for this, you know, the end of the season. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter. I do, you know, tweet quite a bit these days. Certainly a lot more than I used to. At Dillon Tartaro, my handle is on the end screen. And I'm out, guys. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
I talked to you guys, tried to make it happen sooner, and just wasn't ready. You know, didn't have the arm strength, couldn't get it there, you know, and shut it back down. And then over this past bye week, you know, we were able to have a throwing program progression that we went through, and feel really good. You know, obviously not quite 100%, but I feel confident and have made all the throws that I'm going to need to make over the course of the game.
Ryan, when was it that you guys tried to go again and you had to shut it down? Was that before the bye week? Was that?
Yeah, that was, I don't even know, 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
You had said before that it hurt every time you threw, and you were kind of resigned to that being the reality the rest of the season. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the rest of the season. You know, obviously I'm not completely pain-free now, but it's at a tolerable rate and something that I can deal with, and it doesn't affect any throws that I make.
Worried that you're going to have to adjust the motion that you had to do based on the injury, your throwing motion?
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't want to do. You know, if you had to adjust and you're running into other problems, whether it be elbow issues or different shoulder issues. So that was something that we're kind of working through, is making sure I was able to have a consistent motion that fits the way I throw the ball in order to not run into other issues. Because, yeah, you could probably figure out a way to get especially shorter throws there without getting your arm all the way up or all the way back, whatever it may be. But as far as pushing the ball down the field, they're not going to be able to make those throws, and you're going to cause yourself other problems as you move forward.
What would be the latest thing that a doctor or doctors told you about how healed it is?
Yeah, it's something that's purely off feel at this point. We got the MRI way back and we saw everyone, 4 or 5 doctors were all on the same page of what it was. And they've just been kind of working through it, and it's purely off feel at this point. So everyone's confident that no further injury is going to be caused by playing through it at this point where it's at in the healing process, and confident moving forward.
Ryan, 2 years ago when the knee happened, you guys were on a roll. Team went to the playoffs without you. Now you come back, tied with the 6th seed. You have a chance to go on a roll and make the playoffs. What's your mindset?
Yeah, I'm excited. We have a lot of football in front of us. Obviously, one game at a time, but I firmly believe that if we take care of business, then we control our own destiny. So it's going to be a matter of going out each and every week and performing and winning football games.
Ryan, do you personally plan on playing as if you've never been away? I mean, is that a realistic expectation for you in this game?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to step in and play your game. I feel confident. I don't feel like any aspect of my game is taken away, as far as running the football, getting outside the pocket. I've been doing that throughout my rehab the past week, making throws outside the pocket. And the doctors are confident that it's not something that taking a hit running the football or anything like that is going to affect the injury that I had. So, yeah, I feel completely confident that we can do all the things that we've done in this offense.
You mentioned, I think, when you talked to us first for a while, that the type of way that you got hit before could be the only way that it could worsen. How do you kind of prevent from that being a possibility?
I mean, it's always a possibility, right? I mean, that's kind of the nature of the game. There's always a possibility of taking the freak hit or getting your arm grabbed or whatever it may be, but you can't really think about that or plan for it. You play fast, get the ball out on time, trust your tackles, and move up in the pocket. But past that, you just got to play football.
How different is this? How different is this offense now, personnel-wise, than the one for the Cincinnati game?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, obviously. Losing a couple guys, Jakeem going down, Albert going down, Devontae's dinged up. Offensive line has changed. Yeah, so it's definitely some different personnel, but I think bringing in Bryce will help us outside. He's had some good catches today at practice. He's shown speed, long range. Coach Gase showed the quarterback some highlights of his time in Dallas. So we got to kind of get a feel of what he brings to the table, and then obviously what we saw out of practice today is a guy with a lot of range and speed, good hands, made a couple good catches away from his body. So we're excited about what he brings to the table. But we have Kenny's still out there. We're gonna have to get our tight ends involved and our running backs as well. So we still have a lot of good skill players that we can get the ball to. Just maybe different guys than it was in Cincinnati.
Ryan, to kind of piggyback off of that, I believe it's been 9 quarters since the offense has scored a touchdown. How do you get that turned around, and what needs to happen for it to turn around?
Yeah, I think we just got to execute, do our job. I think it goes all the way around. Everyone steps on the field. If we just go out and do our job and execute, we'll end up in the end zone. And it has to be finishing through the end zone. I think the past few games we moved the ball well, and then got to the red zone and kind of stalled out. So that's going to be huge for us is to be able to finish through the end zone and get 7 points on those drives and not come away with 3.
Ryan, it might be wrong, but it feels like you're a little tired of talking about your health. Is that fair?
I mean, I understand it is. That's unfortunately the position we're in. But yeah, I'm ready to put this behind me and move forward and start winning football games.
Every shoulder injury is different, and I have no idea of the details of Andrew Luck's shoulder, but it just occurred to me that he has bounced back from a shoulder injury to play really well. What have you noticed about that, and is it sort of encouraging that this great quarterback also bounced back from the shoulder problem?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't followed too closely. I know that they're playing good football right now. I know he was dealing with stuff throughout the offseason and kind of delayed camp, maybe something like that. But he seems to be playing really well right now. I don't know exactly what he had going on, but I have a ton of respect for Andrew, and he's playing really well right now.
So different players use different motivations for why they play and why they want to accomplish. What are you playing for these final 6 games?
I'm playing for the guys around me. playing for the guys around me. You know, I see how much work these guys put in. I believe in these guys. I believe we have a lot of football in front of us, and we can go win a lot of football games. So I'm going to give everything I have to these guys and hopefully come out with wins.
Ryan, it's been a shootout. It could come down to a shootout against the Colts, considering how many points they put up. And with the pain that comes with throwing the ball, how do you mentally prepare yourself for that if you do have to throw quite a bit?
Yeah, I'm not concerned with the amount of throws. You know, I've had big throwing sessions, over 100 throws throughout the last weeks, and a bunch today. I don't know how many I had today. So I'm not concerned with. It's at a tolerable level, so it's not something where it's killer. It doesn't feel like I'm getting stabbed or anything like that. You know, it's a tolerable pain that it's not an issue. But yeah, I think I have a ton of respect for this defense. They're playing good football right now. Play very good fundamentally. They tackle well. They're in their spots. And we're going to have to sustain drives. You know, they don't give up a lot of big plays. They do a good job of taking things away down the field. And we just have to sustain drives and make the plays that are there.
Ryan, as far as the shoulder, do you have to do anything extra to loosen it up or anything extra after practice to treat it?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's a working process. You know, so it's a process to get things going and get loose and go. And once I'm loose, then I feel really good. And it's a maintenance process of continuing to rehab and build the muscles around. So yeah, it'll be something that I think will sustain most of the rest of the year is a process of getting ready to go and then rehabbing as well.
Ryan, how confident do you feel? How do you feel knowing that you've made so much progress in X amount of weeks, and how do you feel knowing that you could make more, or to be manageable to play the rest of the season?
I don't really understand the question.
How confident are you that you're where you at right now from where you were, and how can you keep that the last couple weeks of the season?
Yeah, of course. I think even if it stays where it's at for the rest of the year, I'm totally confident in where it's at. Hopefully it gets better, but if it doesn't, then I'm totally okay with that, and we can get fully healthy in the off season. You know, I can make all the throws and do what I need to do, so that won't be an issue. But as far as how far I've come, you know, it's been a big step from, you know, first injuring, then trying to throw a few weeks later and just really couldn't throw. That was the stabbing pain, and it just didn't have any juice on the ball. So yeah, from there to here has been huge steps, and now I'm okay if it's incremental steps or minimal steps.
Ryan, the offense has been up and down most of the season. With 6 games left, maybe needing 4 of those to make the playoffs. Is there any extra pressure? How do you fix some of these issues that have been plaguing the offense quicker, sooner rather than later?
Yeah, we have to go out and execute. You know, I think, like I said, I think consistency is our issue. At times we move the ball well. At times we've scored touchdowns. It's just been hit or miss on what it's going to be, whether it's turn the ball over, explosives, not playing well on third down. We have to be able to put it together for a full game. You know, sustain drives, convert third downs, and then get the ball in the end zone in the red zone. So, you know, we've shown at times, like I said, all aspects of that. We just have to be able to play consistent and put it together. And I think we can do it. I believe we can do it. We just have to go make it happen.
Adam said he thought that you were juiced up on Monday. Can you describe your emotions this week and then when he told you that, hey, you're going to be our guy on Sunday?
Yeah, of course I'm excited. You know, it's been a hard 5 weeks of sitting out and, you know, kind of sitting back and itching, you know, biting at the bit just to try to doing everything I can to get back out there. So to finally be healthy enough to get out there and go and be with my guys, I'm really excited and looking forward to the opportunity.
Things up, just to look at some different situations and schemes and what, you know, the whole gamut, and see what had happened, where can we make some improvement, where can we make some changes. So, you know, it's like one of those things where you want to really focus on that stuff, and at the same time you're trying to get a little bit recharged. You know, it's been a while, been a couple of years since we had one of those. So,
what was the most surprising thing you discovered taking a pause and doing a self-scout?
I don't think anything's, I mean, you know what it is because you watch this stuff nonstop, and you really you're reconfirming what you already know. And it's really about what's the solution, you know, and that's really what we focused on. And, you know, we feel like we have some things that we can help ourselves with. There's some things where if we can just get a little bit of improvement, it can put us in some better situation. If we have some better execution sometimes in some of the situations. That would really be ideal, you know, especially in the red zone on both sides of the ball.
What about the Phins layup?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing we're always going to keep working on, especially the next 6 weeks, is eliminating the explosive plays. That's really been what's hurt us more than anything. And it's just all it takes is one guy to slide out of his gap, and that's what it's been. And it's, I wish I could say it's this one guy, but you know, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks, it just comes down to everybody trusting each other that they're going to do their job. And if we can just focus on doing that, that's going to save us from a lot of heartaday.
Adam, what were you guys able to do with Ryan Tannehill over the past week?
I mean, he just increased his throwing program. You know, it's kind of that, okay, hey, did we cover this? Did we do on the move, awkward throws, you know, and that's the next step. And we just kept trying to spitball things off each other to make sure that we're covering everything before we would get him out to practice, to where now all of a sudden something comes up and he hasn't done it yet. So that's really, you know, once we got through the initial, okay, stationary target, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now, all right, let's get some moving bodies in there, you know. And it's not the same because it's, you know, trainers running around instead of professional athletes. So, I mean, but he does a good job of simulating that in his head of, okay, I got to put the ball here, and they just, you know, I got to pretend it's a moving target.
How's he look to you?
I think he looks what I remember. I feel like it's forever since I've seen him throw, you know. But to me, he looks what he wants to look like. Now it's about the next day. How do I feel the next day? And then how much can we do the next day? And then after a day off, like, how does he feel after that? You know, and really it's going to be a test. So, you know, if we go out to practice and now it's a different intensity. It's different throws. You got bodies in front of you. Now your arm angle has to change. It's just there's some things that we can't do with him on air that we're going to be able to do with him at practice.
Wednesday then?
That is a discussion I still have to have with him as far as where I need him to just shoot me straight and tell me where he's at, and then we'll go from there, you know. And obviously practice is going to come up here quick, and then I'll have a better idea. I probably purposely didn't meet with him yet, so I didn't have an answer for you.
What are his chances of playing this week, Ken?
His chances? I don't know. I'll find out here in a little bit. I really don't know, because I'm not going to rule him out, because if he comes to me and is like, man, I feel great, and you know, we can't be wrong of start the week one way and then flip back, or vice versa, of like we get to Friday and all of a sudden it's, you know, hey, I feel like I can go. Like, it just doesn't work. It's just hard enough for a quarterback as it is when you get all the reps during a week of practice. So we'll kind of see how it goes.
So you don't anticipate making that decision, I guess, like Wednesday, like you had previous weeks?
Well, I mean, I think we're practicing tomorrow, right? I'm running out of time.
What changed with Jakeem, you know, and you know, what did that mean for you guys?
I mean, nothing really changed. It was just really getting the results of everything and getting our options. I mean, you know, the good thing is he didn't tear his Achilles. He's able to get a procedure done to where we can get him back a lot sooner and still, you know, fix the things that we need him to get fixed, to where he can alleviate a lot of the pain that he's been going through. It's unfortunate for us because I felt like he was having a really good year. He was doing a lot for us, and you know, I know once again, it's a crushing blow for a guy that gives you everything he has.
As far as kick returning and punt returning duties, there's going to be more Danny on the punt return?
I mean, we'll see. We're going to have to probably move some things around, and I mean, that's obvious.
You have a better idea on your offensive tackles, Laramie and Juwan?
I don't yet. I haven't spoken to either one of those guys, so I know we're trying to rehab and see where they're at when we get going tomorrow. So I'll have a chance to holler at those guys at some point, either today or tomorrow.
Is there a chance that Devontae plays this week? Devontae, is there a chance he plays this week?
I think so. I mean, we'll see how practice goes. You know, I mean, it's one thing to go out there and, be able to be dressed for a game, ready to go, but to be able to be as effective as we need guys to be. That's really that's what it comes down to. Can he do what he needs to do?
You said James didn't tear his Achilles. Was it an injury to his Achilles?
Yeah, it was something different. I try not to pay too much attention to the exacts of everything because I know I'll mess it up. So that's why I do that sometimes. And it was not the Achilles though, because the first thing everybody thought was that's what it was. But that would have been the first person I ever saw hop off the field like that with an Achilles injury. Usually just see him down and they're trying to figure out what happened. So, it was something in that area. And, he's had Achilles pain for probably 4 years. He's played through it. Coming from college. It's just what it is. And, he just doesn't say a whole bunch about it.
Adam, obviously what your tight ends and receivers do is so dependent on the quarterback. With Gesicki, he's obviously made progress. Was it unrealistic for people, media fans, to think he'd come in and catch 1 million balls as a rookie just because it's tough at that position to learn everything you need to learn?
No, I think I had, in my head, I was thinking we were going to be able to, especially early on, get the one-on-one coverages and, make the defense really think like, all right, we got to take him away. Now, it was just strange how we started out and all of a sudden we're getting 2 guys going out on him. I'm like, he hasn't caught a touchdown pass yet. Like, why is this happening? So it was, I think, a little bit of surprise on the fact that they were respecting what he had done in college and not giving us, giving him the opportunity to have the one-on-one matchups that you're hoping he would have. And we don't see as much man as what we probably anticipated leading into the season, and that's where he would have a lot of success going against a linebacker or safety, but instead he's getting a lot more corner. We're getting zone looks, too high type deals, which, that's where we should be able to run the ball better and take advantage of that.
If Brian could play this week, what gives you confidence that he's going to be able to pick up where he left off?
It's just, these guys, the professional athletes, this is what they do. This is what they know. I'm not going to, if he's in there, I'm not going to be thinking like, well, he hasn't played. Like, we're going to go and we're going to play. And if he makes a mistake, he makes a mistake. I'm not going to sit there and dwell on it. I just want him, whenever this happens where he goes in there, I just want him to just play his game and not worry about anything else.
With Albert and Jakeem down, let's talk about Kenny Stills for a minute. What kind of an opportunity do you foresee for him in the last 6 games?
Well, now that we're further away from his injury, hopefully he's healthier than what he was. Last week, it could not have been easy for him. We want to stretch the field with him. It's just, it's hard when, they know he's not probably 100%. And I know he's pushing and trying to give us everything he has. And we've had opportunities where he does get behind the defense and we can't get the ball to him. And, it's a little frustrating probably for me. Like, he doesn't say much about it, but, we want to be able to take advantage of the fact that he gets behind, the DBs, and we haven't been able to do that so far.
Adam, did you have a chance to watch the Colts yesterday, and what was your takeaway if you did?
I watched a little bit when it was, I was bouncing around watching a lot of different games. It's rare that you get those type of Sundays where you can watch the Red Zone channel and stuff, which is always fun for somebody that's massively ADD. So that thing's bouncing around all over the place. It's great. And, watching them, it's you can see Andrew Luck is looking like what he used to look like. And, arm strength looks good. And then everybody else kind of starts feeding off of that. And their defense is playing fast. And they're making a lot of good plays and creating turnovers and flying around and getting to the ball and creating negative plays. There's a reason why they're winning games.
You're part of quite a pack at 5-5. What's your take on the standings?
I don't know. I feel like this is a repeat of what we've said the last 2 years. So this is what it is. That's the NFL. That's what everybody wants, right? You don't want to be going into, got 10 games down. The last 6, it was already determined. Why watch? So this is what it is. This is what it always is. It's just who can have the best 6-game season.
As you consider what to do with Ryan, do the struggles that the offense has had recently factor into that at all?
I think a lot of our struggles have come from not taking advantage of opportunities when we've had them, and it hasn't been one guy. I can't say, like, this is the reason, you know. I know it's easy to go to the quarterback, and I know there's been times where Brock's been in the right spot, made the right throw, and we don't finish the play, or we have what we want and protection breaks down so fast that he has no opportunity. So, I mean, really it comes down to our whole group has to play better. And if we do that, no matter who's back there, it gives us a better chance.
What are the one or two things that make you think that you guys will play better in this 6-game stretch here?
I like this group. This group works, man. This group does a great job in practice. I mean, they practice hard. They give max effort as far as knowing what's going on, understanding the game plan, understanding how we want to play as a team. You know, it's just, you know, we went 10 straight games, and you know, it's probably going to be good when guys get back got a little bit of a refresher. You know, you got to take a breath, you got to watch some football, and you can see that there's a lot of the same things that we're going through is happening in other places. And it's just who can pull it together and who can stay healthy enough these last 6 games to make a move.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from Mr. Ross over the last, say, 8-10 weeks?
I mean, he's been great with really every time I see him after a game or talk to him during the week. Just keep grinding, you know, don't worry. Don't think too much about like injuries. I think he looks at that of, you know, we've lost some good players. You know, I mean, that's something that is always unfortunate. Because he can see those big plays when they were occurring with Albert and what we get from Jakeem, and, you know, when we were hitting some deeper throws with Ryan in there, and, you know, he sees all that stuff. And then when those guys aren't there anymore, like, he understands that we got to do what we got to do to try to move the ball and win the game.
What do you think, I guess, it says about this team that you guys are still in the thick of it, given everything that's happened?
I mean, that's what we wanted. We wanted guys that'll battle for the entire season. You know, give ourselves a chance in December to create our own destiny. I mean, that's what we wanted when we started this thing. You never know how it's going to shake out. You never know, you know, the injury situation. Who knows what's going to happen? You never know. And no matter who's available and who's not available, as long as your locker room is tight and those guys work hard and stick together, that gives yourselves a chance.
Just a couple more guys.
One guy you acquired last week, what did you, Michael, Chris, like as far as skill set with Bryce Butler?
I mean, he's a bigger guy, good speed, you know, go up and get the ball. I think it was just, you know, with really at the time, we didn't know where Devontae was going to be. You know, we didn't know how quickly he'd be able to come back, and, you know, Jakeem was really playing X for us for the most part. Him and Devontae were really splitting that, really, because Devontae'd be out and Jakeem would kind of help him out, and Kenny was bouncing all over the place. So we just felt like it was somebody with good size and just a, you know, different type of body type. We did like, you know, the fact that he is a bigger guy and can go up and get it and can stretch the field. You know, that was interesting.
Ryan, you mentioned his progressions. You said he is getting up to 50 yards throwing the ball.
Yeah, he can throw it down the field now. I mean, it looks good. It looks good. It's just all about like how many times, you know, and it's always just constantly that conversation of how you feeling. And I'm sure it's annoying to him, especially. I'll ask the same question so many times where he's like, "I've enough." So, but it's just like I don't know how he feels. I know I just got to go off of what he tells me.
Was your day during the bye working out?
I think there was a few days where he was off to where it's like the compliance of the bye week rules and things like that. Like, I know, you know, especially Thursday on, I wasn't around him, so.
Bobby McCain.
He's still in the protocol.
And Andre Branch, he had a shoulder issue. Is that something that could impact?
Yeah, I asked him if he was all right. He said he was more upset that he missed a sack, but maybe that played a little part in it. But you know, he's been. I mean, it's football. I mean, he's going to be banged up.
Alright guys, you've reached the end of my video. This is the end of the interviews. I hope you enjoyed those. I hope you enjoyed my show. Also, as a whole, if you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Make sure you hit the like button. And please share your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. It's for you. This is for you. And also follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. It's on the end screen. My Twitter handle is on the end screen if you need to know it. And with that, guys, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.